Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Los Angeles. Am I officially an influencer now? Like, this is like the projects of Beverly Hills. This is like where like the poor Beverly Hills people live. And welcome to the famous Santa Monica Pier.
So delicious. The prosciutto was thin sliced. We ordered the Waymo, it pulled up, we got in the back. Gotta stay hydrated. Let's go back where it was warm. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Mantar. Thank you all so very much for coming back. If it's your first time, welcome to the show. And today, my friends, we are headed to the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California, the place where movie magic is made, where stars are born, where dreams are made. I love Los Angeles. I actually only went for the first time 2 years ago, but I've been back. This was my fourth visit since then. And on this visit, I decided to bring you all along with me. I think it's also good to encourage tourism right now to Los Angeles because they were just devastated by those fires. I did not visit any of those burn sites or anything. I don't think you can, actually. So this video is not about that. It's just sort of a regular tourist visit to LA. But I do think it's good to continue to encourage tourism, particularly when there's been a very sad event. So anyway, not to talk too much in the beginning, I want to get right into it. But first, your friendly reminder, if you like this content, go ahead and hit that little subscribe button. It is of no cost to you, but it is tremendously helpful to me. Also, leave a like, leave a comment, hit that little notification bell so you do not miss future Mantar videos. I know you don't want to miss future Mantar videos. I have one more video from California. It's not going to be LA. It's going to be a different destination. It's going to be something totally different. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be super fun and a different side of California. And as always, if you love travel, check out the other videos on this channel. I have a video from Charleston, South Carolina, from the Jersey Shore, from Mystic, Connecticut. I also have international destinations, Hungary, Spain, and Korea. And there will be many, many more domestic and international destinations coming up on this channel. Super excited for 2025. So without any further ado, here is my experience in Los Angeles, California, in February of 2025, on the latest episode of Mantar Global, starting right now. So welcome, my friends, to rainy Los Angeles. Yes, you heard me right, rainy Los Angeles. We did fly into a rainy evening, which is quite uncommon. And it's LA, so the first thing we did was we went and got some Mexican food.
And welcome to Los Angeles. It is raining in LA. Whoever heard of that? But it is raining. It is really coming down. Welcome to LA. We are here. We are ready. We are going to El Compadre restaurant, or I guess restaurant. El Compadre restaurant, Mexican food. You have to have Mexican food in LA, and this camera's gonna break if I hold it in the rain any longer. So let's go in.
And El Compadre restaurant did not disappoint. So we started off with some excellent guacamole. You gotta have guacamole when you're eating Mexican food. It was really, really delicious. And I had the enchiladas de mole, which is 2 chicken enchiladas with special sauce, sour cream, guacamole, and rice and beans. Absolutely delicious, and I was stuffed at the end of the night. High recommendation, Mexican food in Hollywood, El Compadre restaurant. And so with that, it was time for good night and ready to explore in the morning.
Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to daylight in Los Angeles. It is sunny. It was rainy yesterday, but we got the sun, and we are headed to our first destination, which is the Pink Wall. My friend told me it's the Pink Wall. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is, but here we go.
Apologies for the audio quality on that. I'm still kind of getting used to these new mics. But yes, we were on our way to the Pink Wall, which I had actually never heard of before because apparently I live under a rock. But apparently it is the most Instagrammable spot in Los Angeles. And it's literally the pink wall of the Paul Smith store. And apparently it's really famous for tourists, and apparently a lot of influencers go there. This is what I hear.
Am I officially an influencer now? Does this make it official? It's just a pink wall. I don't get it, but okay. We took our picture, so are those tourists over there. I guess it's a thing. Welcome to the Pink Wall.
I really, truly don't get it. It's a pink wall of a building. I've seen buildings with pink walls before. I don't know what makes this so special, but apparently it's a really big spot for influencers. So like I said, am I an influencer now? I don't know. I have my show on YouTube. I'm also doing TikToks now, so check me out on TikTok if you haven't yet. It's Mantar Global on TikTok. Follow me, do all the things. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that makes me an influencer or just a dude running a travel show. Who knows? Let me know in the comments. And at any rate, a few minutes later, I was done taking my pictures and my video, so we headed off to the next thing.
So we're now in the museum district. This is where all the museums are, I guess. So if you're interested in an LA museum, looks like they're all clustered in the same area.
So yes, in the museum district and on our way to the La Brea tar pits. And the La Brea tar pits are located in Hancock Park, which has naturally occurring asphalt springs, where natural asphalt literally is seeping up out of the ground. It was really, really cool. And there is an associated museum, but we did not go inside. But a lot of the signs on the outdoors were alluding to the fact that there are fossils that come up through these tar pits. And the La Brea tar pits is actually an active where paleontologists work to uncover the fossils that come up. So there's a lot of signage about woolly mammoths. A lot of mammoth fossils apparently come up from these tar pits.
It literally smells like tar. Like, it smells like freshly paved road. It's crazy. Like, I feel like they just paved my street. That's how I feel.
And as you can see, we actually did see the active tar coming up through the springs. It almost looks like mini little eruptions, but you can just see it as you walk by. It's really interesting.
So we're going to an art installation called Urban Light, which is apparently lampposts from like the 1920s that they like repurposed for this art installation. It's also apparently a major like Instagrammable moment. I feel like you have to do the Instagrammable moments in LA, like the influencer stuff. I feel like it's that kind of town.
And Urban Light was, as described, a collection of lampposts from the 1920s and 1930s that you're able to kind of walk through. And apparently the lampposts all came from Southern California, so it's a local type of art installation. And I guess these lampposts light up at night, so maybe we should have gone at night, but oh well, we didn't. So we got our Instagrammable moment of me walking through the lampposts. It was a cool little art installation. And on this little museum complex, we did walk to, I guess, another art installation called Levitated Mass, which is a big rock that's suspended between two kind of ledges, and you can walk under it. It was a little creepy. It's a huge rock. I was like, oh, is this sturdy?
Is this really a levitated mass? It's just kind of a big rock suspended between the edges of the thing. I don't know. Okay.
And of course, the museum district would not be complete without the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures. It is Los Angeles after all. We did not go in, but if you are a movie geek and love that kind of thing, that's in that same complex where the tar pits are and everything. It's all like, or maybe it's not on the same complex, but it's all on like the same block. And then next on our list was Beverly Hills.
All right, you got to come to Beverly Hills on a trip to LA. You're going to see beautiful houses. You're going to see the world famous Rodeo Drive, and we are going to see all of it. So welcome to Beverly Hills.
We did do a lot of window shopping on Rodeo Drive. A lot of the stores there are appointment only. They're very, very high-end stores, as you can see. So I probably couldn't have gone shopping if I wanted to, but also my wallet was going to tell me no regardless. And I don't know why it's so fun for so many people, but a lot of tourists love to walk down Rodeo Drive. A lot of people like to walk through and just see the fancy stores and see all of that stuff. Some people go shopping, I guess, but like I said, like a lot of the stores are seriously by appointment only. So, you know, I do think that there's a lot of tourists that just go there to like look at how the other half lives. And it is certainly the other half for a lot of people.
I found something I can afford. The one place in Beverly Hills, the one store I'm going to go into.
Yep, that's what we made out with in Beverly Hills. A cup of Starbucks coffee. So after our little window shopping tour on Rodeo Drive, we did go ahead and take a look at some of those houses. Yes, they're all private homes, so there's nothing to do but look at the exteriors of the houses. But man, it's nice to walk up some of those streets and, dream about what it would be like one day to own a house like these.
One day I'm going to live in a house in Beverly Hills. It's too nice not to. I mean, right now though, we're in the flats apparently, which is like basically like this is like the projects of Beverly Hills. This is like where like the poor Beverly Hills people live. Apparently like, the really rich houses are like up in the hills behind hedges and stuff. So, basically just taking a walk through the projects.
Okay, yes, obviously that was like a slight joke, but you got to think about it like relatively. Like apparently what we were walking through are the lowest priced houses in Beverly Hills. So it just goes to show you that like poor in Beverly Hills is very rich anywhere else. So then we got in the car and we drove through a little bit more of Beverly Hills just to see some more houses and just see a little bit more of the town. We headed off towards Santa Monica. And every time I've driven into Santa Monica, I feel like you're in Santa Monica with its very, very tall palm trees on the streets, and it just has kind of a unique look. So we got into Santa Monica and we parked the car.
Okay, and welcome to Santa Monica. We are going to have some lunch. We're going to go take a look at the pier, all the fun stuff. This is our first afternoon spot.
So we stopped in for lunch at a place called Bruxy or Brucey or something like that. I don't really know how it's pronounced. It's just a little kind of fried chicken and waffles and sandwich type spot. Really, really nothing fancy. But I did treat myself to a little afternoon chicken and waffles. I almost never eat something like chicken and waffles, but when you're on vacation, all bets are off. For all you conspiracy theorists out there, that is powdered sugar on my nose. I was eating waffles, so don't get any ideas. So after lunch, it was time to head to the famous Santa Monica Pier, the endpoint of US Route 66, the famous Route 66 from Chicago to Los Angeles. Route 66 was decommissioned in 1985, but it's still a historic highway that officially has its endpoint at the Santa Monica Pier. And the Santa Monica Pier itself is full of attractions and rides and all kinds of fun stuff. And of course, the pier is right on the Pacific Ocean. This is at the western end of the United States, and it was almost warm enough that day to be a beach day. It was not quite. It was in the high 60s, but we were getting close, so it was nice to be by the beach.
And welcome to the famous Santa Monica Pier. That is the Ferris wheel behind me. We might go ahead and try and ride it. Look at the little Route 66 sign. This is a lovely place. We're going to check it out.
And we did end up taking the Ferris wheel because you have to take the Ferris wheel for a hefty price of $17 per person. And just like that, it was time for dinner. And we ended up at a place in, I think, Beverly Hills officially, but it was kind of like straddling between West Hollywood and Beverly Hills. Anyway, it was called Cafe Angelino, and probably one of my biggest restaurant recommendations on this video. The food was excellent, and you could almost miss it. It's kind of a little unassuming place that's kind of tucked in just on the street, and the interior is pretty small, but do not miss this restaurant. So to start start off, they brought us some bread and some olive oil on the table. And we started off with an appetizer of prosciutto and mozzarella. Oh my God, so fresh, so delicious. The prosciutto was thin sliced, so much flavor, and the mozzarella was fresh and a pop of flavor itself. I really like this appetizer. And I went with their traditional lasagna, fresh pasta with ricotta, mozzarella, meat sauce, and Parmesan cheese. Absolutely delicious. My friend ended up having the ravioli di pollo, which is chicken and ricotta cheese ravioli with spicy tomato sauce and Parmesan cheese. And for dessert, we had a tiramisu. Beautiful, delicious. Everything was excellent. I had myself a little decaf coffee, and it was a wonderful way to end the night. I really cannot recommend this restaurant enough. Cafe Angelino on the corner of West 3rd Street and Robertson Boulevard. So with that, it was time for good night. Usually in these videos, I say on to day 2, and I will say that, but with the caveat that day 2 was about 4 days later because we did go to another spot in California, which is gonna be my next video. We came back, and now this is day 2 in Los Angeles. So, on to day 2.
Okay, so we are driving up to the Hollywood sign. My original plan was going to be to hike up to the Hollywood sign because it's a great hike. But unfortunately, yesterday I sustained a minor injury, which you will find out about if you watch my next video that comes out right after this one. It was a whole thing. So instead, we are driving to the Hollywood sign and we're going to get some views.
So yes, due to my minor injury, I was not able to hike up to the Hollywood sign, which was our original plan, but it kind of worked out because it was pretty cloudy that day. I don't know if we would have been kind of like stuck up in the clouds. But we did drive to the Hollywood sign, which included driving through the Hollywood Hills, which I've done before, but I'm always amazed at these like narrow, windy, twisty streets. I almost feel like I'm in Italy with like how narrow these streets are, like winding up through the hills. But anyway, of course, you're also driving by beautiful houses, luxury. This is a nice part of town, obviously.
Well, there it is. It's real. I have actually been up there before, and I'll show you a couple photos from my last time where I actually hiked up to the top, because that's a fun thing to do.
So yes, I will flash a couple of photos across your screen. Look at me, there I am on top of the Hollywood sign, hiked up there. So I did do that once upon a time. It was a much sunnier day, but yes, that's it. But yeah, there's the Hollywood sign. Like I said, it's real, it's a real thing. Took some pictures in front of it, world famous Hollywood sign, the place where movie dreams are made of, or something like that. And speaking of movies, while in Hollywood, you have to go to the Walk of Fame. Now, I'll be honest with you, if I lived in Hollywood, you would never see me at the Walk of Fame. I pretty much compare it to Times Square in New York. You have like Ripley's Believe It or Not and the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. It's like very like tourist traffic heavy. It's a little bit like the reason I compare it to Times Square is like it's kind of like theme park looking. However, it is the Walk of Fame, the real one, where the Hollywood stars have their stars on the sidewalk as you're walking through. And it's fun as you're walking. You see so many recognizable names, actors, singers, movie stars, pop stars, things like that. All kinds of household names on the Walk of Fame. It's great just to see like your favorite stars. You even stumble upon some sad ones like Robin Williams, gone too soon from us, but a very well-deserved star on the Walk of Fame, legendary man. And the current president of the United States, Mr. Donald J. Trump, does have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He is one of 2 presidents with stars on the Walk of Fame, the other being Ronald Reagan, and I did not find his star and I was not able to film it, so I'm sorry, Mr. President, but I wasn't able to find it. But I did find Trump's, so that's a cool piece of history right there. And just like that, it was time for dinner. And so to get to dinner, we did something that is unique if you are in LA, San Francisco, Phoenix, Arizona, or Austin, Texas. and that is take a Waymo. And a Waymo, for those of you who don't know, is a self-driving Uber. There is no one in the driver's seat, and it takes you where you want to go. It was probably the creepiest / most cool thing I did while I was there. So we ordered the Waymo, it pulled up, we got in the back, and the Waymo took off with us and it driving itself to our dinner destination. As far as I could tell, the Waymo followed all of the rules of the road. It signaled for all of its turns. It signaled for all of its lane changes. It stopped at red lights and stop signs. And it even stopped for emergency vehicles to pass. I don't know what kind of AI technology, whatever that this car has built in, but it was following all the rules and it was getting us there safely.
Look, I am in this car right now. There is no one driving. Like, what?
So we grabbed dinner at a fun little spot in WeHo called Barney's Beanery, a down-to-earth, no-nonsense pub, breakfast all day, burgers, sandwiches, all kinds of fun things. The menu was newspaper style. They gave you what looked like newspapers at the table until you realized it was a menu. And so we had an appetizer of the loaded potato skins with bacon, cheese, and sour cream. And for my main dish, I had the Barney's Classic Burger. That is 2 beef patties, pickles, caramelized onions, American cheese, lettuce, tomato, mustard, Barney's sauce, served on a toasted buttermilk bun. And I got fries with that. And my friend decided to choose from the breakfast all day menu and got the breakfast burrito with potato, onion, jalapeno, cheese, and 2 scrambled eggs. Really nice casual spot for food. It was packed. Apparently it's always packed. People apparently love Barney's, and I know why. It's really laid back, really chilled out, easy kind of food. Loved it. Definitely would go back. Definitely recommend. And from Barney's, we made our way to the famous Comedy Store. This is where really high-level comedians will go to try out their material. It really is a small little comedy club. It's unassuming. You would think that amateur comedians would go there, and I think some do, but really celebrity comedians go through there, and I was super excited to check it out. There was absolutely no video recording allowed in the Comedy Store because these big-name comedians are usually trying out material at the Comedy Store, and obviously they don't want any leaks, so I was not able to film anything, but I'll catch you guys on the back end.
Guys, that was so fun. That was great. We saw all kinds of great comedians. Ali Wong was there. I didn't really know who she was before, but I guess she has Netflix specials. Sorry, I'm looking at the floor because I'm injured and we're walking down a steep hill. But yeah, Ali Wong, she was awesome. Bobby Lee, Chris DiStefano, who I didn't know, but I thought he was really funny. Lots of good stuff. Oh, Aunt Hilda from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. She was performing. Carolyn Ray, I think. I'll correct myself in the narrative if that's wrong. I think her name's Carolyn Ray. But she's Aunt Hilda from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. She was there. All kinds of great people. This is a great thing to do if you're in LA.
Yes, like I said, really good. Ali Wong, I didn't know her before, but then I Googled her. Major Netflix specials, like big name. Really cool. And Sabrina, Aunt Hilda, her name is Caroline Ray. So that was super cool. I loved Sabrina when I was a kid. That was an awesome show. Yeah, she was there. She did a set. She was really funny. So yeah, anyway, after the Comedy Store, it was back in a Waymo on our way home and getting ready to, unfortunately, head back to New York in the morning.
And that's gonna do it from Los Angeles.
So as you can probably tell through this video, I absolutely adore LA. I think it's a great city, not the least of which because it was February and you do not see me in anything heavier than a sweater. So that alone for the climate is great. Like I said, when we went to Santa Monica, it was very nearly a beach day. It was like 67, 68 degrees. So not quite a beach day. It is still February, but 68 degrees in February, there's a lot of the US that you will not get that. And believe me, when I got back to New York City, I felt the real winter cold and I started to miss LA right away. But also the restaurants I went to were great. I love a lot of the food options in LA, and the touristy stuff is fun. fun. Like, where else do you have all kinds of mountains and trail hikes and things like that in your backyard? Yes, I know we didn't really do a trail hike in this video, but they are plentiful there. I also love the Santa Monica Pier. I love that it was a little bit less crowded. I went once in summertime and it was packed, so it was a little bit less crowded because it was the winter. So that was really nice. And I also just love being able to drive to everything. You know, like I am such a car guy, which is funny because I live in New York City. I do not own a car in New York City. I do drive, but I don't own a car in New York City because it's hard to own a car in New York City. It's very expensive and you have to park on the street and blah, blah, blah. LA is much more car culture, and if I lived somewhere with more car culture, I would absolutely have a car. I would drive myself everywhere. I wish I could drive myself everywhere in New York City. And yeah, with the car culture comes the ability to drive in one day between Beverly Hills and Santa Monica and downtown LA and the museum district and all different kinds of things. You can take your car and drive all kinds of places and be in totally different looking places. The Hollywood Hills looks totally different from Beverly Hills, looks totally different from WeHo, looks totally different from Malibu or Santa Monica or all kinds of different things. It's all things you can reach in one day by car. I love that. You can go up into the Santa Monica Mountains, which I did on my first trip to LA. In fact, the profile picture of this channel is actually me on a lookout in the Santa Monica Mountains. So how about that? Check out this channel's profile picture. You'll know it if you see it. I really think also because of the climate, it's a great place to be outdoorsy, like all the time. We got a little bit of rain when I was there, but generally speaking, it doesn't rain much in Los Angeles. So you can be outdoorsy. You can go to Griffith Park. We didn't do that here, but the Griffith Park Observatory, it's about a mile hike up to the top, and you can look out over Los Angeles. That's a great thing to do. There's so many great things you can do outdoors. In fact, I think everything we did in this video was outdoors except for the restaurants. So there you have it. How about an outdoorsy trip in February? You have to have a good climate for that. And we had pretty good weather other than the rain. So anyway, yes, this video is a bit of my love letter to LA, but I do have a lot of love to give to that city. And I do think it's a great place to visit. If you've never visited, I do encourage you to get out there at least once. It's a great time. So that's pretty much it for LA. If you want to see something completely different in the United States, I just put out a video from Charleston, South Carolina. Totally different aesthetic, but I absolutely love that city also. You have to check out Charleston, South Carolina. Take a look at that video. I will link it at the end of this video so you can click right on it. Totally different aesthetic, but well worth the visit. So the last two videos I've put out back to back are kind of love letters to two different places very close to my heart in the United States. And like I said, my next video is going to be a different location in California, totally different climate, totally different everything. And I can't wait to share it with all of you. You will find out how I sustained my minor injury. That was a story, and you'll see it on the next video. I will share the footage with you of how everything happened. It was a doozy, so stay tuned for that. But until then, and until we meet again, everyone out there in YouTube land, have a wonderful afternoon, evening, night, morning, whatever time of day you're watching this. I love you all very much, and I will see you elsewhere in California in the next one. Bye-bye.